Yeah, that's great. Um, Lynn,
Hey,
maybe, yeah.
sorry, Shivani, may I just add to that? Because Eric, I have to also talk about one of the experiments that I'm running, which is looking at like VR and augmented reality, and mixed reality, and saying, oh, hang on, okay, if the physical space cannot keep up, if it can't adapt as quickly as we would like it to, well, what does it look like if we were to work with like VR, AR, mixed reality? That's quite cool. That's in my opinion, where the future is going, where it's who cares about the physical location you're in, but what are we doing in the brain to kind of make people feel they're in a space that we want them to feel like they're in, or that way, all it is that you need to create a graphic. And I think that's probably something that anyway, for me, that's probably where the future is going. And I'm seeing some really cool results from some of the experiments we've been running.
Yeah, and even from the outputs of the experiments, Chapi, it would be good to hear because you have a background on psychology, right? Charles Chu posted a question that's and folks, before we continue, please feel free to post more questions in the Q&A section over here of our discussion. I'll pick them up as many as I can and kind of add to that. But Charles Chu posted a very interesting question that what do you think are the biggest challenges in the future in the ways that we work and we live that people are currently underestimating or not taking into consideration? So, what do we need to be talking more about? And especially, Tabi, from a psychology, a behavioral standpoint, would love to hear your feedback on that.
That's interesting because I was having this conversation on Sunday, something quite similar about the fact that the more we move towards technology, the less we forget about human connection. I remember having a theoretical conversation around Zoom and this idea of the fact that there's like this fatigue you can experience through just continually being on video. But how are you able to assess like the non-verbal cues? Because the human language is quite new. Previously there was a lot of nonverbal communication. That's how we kind of were able to assess threat, and we were able to assess like meaning. I think what I'm seeing, at least, that we need to remember the importance of that physical human connection. We can't let go of that. I talk a lot about technology, but I don't mean technology in isolation. I was reading some research in China around the fact that they went so far down this technological route that actually they were predicting that they would see declines in their population because the younger population were just not able to connect with one another. So I don't think we should be so focused on the now. We shouldn't forget about that human connection and the fact that we still need it. I understand we are in a situation of a pandemic, but that's even why we talk about it being physical distancing rather than social distancing. So for me, that idea of like well-being, taking time for the self, remembering, like keeping, like thinking about your mind, thinking about what inspires you, what gives you energy on I just think I think we should always remember well-being, in the mind, and that human connection.